Alrighty, hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Khrista-Lee Amore, CEO and founder of Amore Bookkeeping, where I help entrepreneurs to save time and money. So if you're on your entrepreneurship journey and you want somewhere to grow, you're in the right place. Welcome. But also welcome back to all my loyal subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning in with me weekly and for finding this content worth your time. Alrighty, so I wrapped up my CEO series last week. If you have not checked that out, now is not the time, but you should check it out. All right, and I think this is going to be a perfect segue into this one because what I'm going to be talking about tonight is not necessarily sexy, but it's important. So let's get right into that. All right. Everybody wants freedom, whether that be freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom to do what they love. But here's the truth, most people won't tell you this. Freedom is not found, it's built. Yep, you heard that right. And the foundation it's built on is discipline. All right, most of us are chasing motivation, waiting to feel ready. But as the CEOs of our lives and extension of our businesses, we cannot wait for motivation. We have to build system, and discipline is a system that freedom is built on. Tonight I want to talk about what that really means, not from a book, not from theory, but from my life, my experiences, and my moments of wanting to quit. All right, so let's first talk about the myth of freedom. When I first started chasing entrepreneurship, I thought freedom meant doing whatever I wanted. And you know what? Let's not even keep this segmented into entrepreneurship. Let's talk about adulting. Let's talk about the fact that when we were kids, I mean, I'll talk about me because I don't know if you're going to be real. But when I was a child, I thought I wanted to grow up. I wanted to experience what it was like being an adult, doing whatever I want, because why did I have to come home by 9 p.m. on Christmas night when everybody was just getting ready to go out? Like, why did I have to not be able to go out and spend all night out at parties with all my friends? Like, why did I have a bedtime? Why did I have a curfew? Why couldn't I just do all the things and be all the things? So I thought becoming an adult would give me the freedom to just be it. And so for a lot of time, I was just like, I cannot wait to grow up. I don't think I've verbalized it often, but I felt it. And I thought when I grew up, I would feel this magical experience of just being and doing whatever I want. Guys, guys, I don't want y'all to leave me hanging. Am I the only one who felt like this? Let's take it outside of entrepreneurship for a second, just really talk. Am I the only one? Right? But you think, okay, you know what? Even let's even talk about it in the context of 9 to 5. Okay. Why do I have to show up to work on time every day? Yeah. Why do I only get 30 minutes or an hour for lunch? Why can't I just have an extended lunchtime or do whatever I want? So let me go start my own business because I can wake up late, I can create my own schedule, I can say I'm my own boss. Yeah, that's very short lived because you realize that even in your employment, you have your boss who tells you what to do and creates a structure so that you can get paid, by the way. In your household as a kid, you have your parents guiding you and figuring out all the things that you cannot even think to figure out as a child. Right? They are all short lived. One thing I've realized that freedom without discipline is not freedom. It's chaos. It's chaotic. If you can't lead yourself, you can't manage yourself. And so here I am as an adult setting a bedtime. The thing I dreaded as a child because I realized I need it. And my parents, thankfully, were setting those foundations for me that I was, rebelling against for no reason. But, kids. Real freedom means you've trained yourself so well that you don't need someone else to keep you accountable. And it's not that you're saying that you don't need people or you don't need anybody over your shoulder. Because the older you get and the more committed you are to achieving a level of success, you need people to keep you accountable. Nobody has ever gotten to the top alone. And I don't think me or you is going to be an exception. So we're not talking about that lack of accountability where we're not listening to anybody. I'm talking about the concept where you've truly trained yourself in a way that you are a great self-starter that many companies are looking for. And you're also a good team player. So you are able to be held and kept accountable. Right? And that's the difference between a CEO mindset and an employee mindset. And might I digress? When I say when I'm talking about these two different mindsets, I'm not just referring to the fact that you have to be an entrepreneur to have a CEO mindset. Because one thing I do know for sure, and this is not just theory, this is facts, your habits travel with you until you change them. So the same way you show up at your job is the same way you're going to show up in your business. If you don't take track of what you're doing and assessing if this is the reality that you want to create, it won't just change because you decide you wanted to start a business. You have to intentionally change it. And you can have a CEO mindset at your job, because which is actually preferred, because that's the same mindset that's going to travel with you into the entrepreneurship. Right? But if I could break it down a little bit more, I would say an employee mindset is someone who waits for direction. And a CEO mindset is a person that creates the direction and holds themselves to it. So the discipline that builds freedom is doing what needs to be done long after the feeling has left. And honestly, when I look back at many tough seasons, and I really truly believe I'm in one right now, and for you, this could mean many different things. This could be in slow season your business. It could just be feeling tired and drained and exhausted all the time. One thing I've realized is those were the seasons where I had to lead myself the hardest. That's the time when we don't even want to show up when we have to. And honestly, I've had more times when I felt like I didn't want to show up than times when I felt like I wanted to show up. And this is something that I'm learning even myself. It's just like I would think that because I have this gigantic goal and this ambition of wanting to become and be great and all of these expansive goals and dreams, I would feel motivated every single day to get up out of my bed. And I was reading this book, and See You at the Top. I think it's See You at the Top. And Zig Ziglar. And he said, one of the things that he does, or, tells people to do is get up out of bed in the morning, jump up, clap your hands, and, feel mighty. And you sing in the shower and all of that. And those things are great. But on the days when you don't feel motivated, you don't even feel like getting up out of the bed, how are you going to want to clap? You're dragging yourself all day. You don't even want to sing in the shower. You don't even want to be around anybody. So it's also that you have to understand that the motivation is not going to always be there, regardless of what you want to do. But that is where the discipline comes in. So I'm going to talk about the three forms of discipline. I think there are three forms, and these are emotional, mental, and practical. I'm going to break them down and talk a little bit about each of them. Emotional discipline, as the name suggests, is basically managing your emotions when things don't go as planned. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's like, for example, it's me filming this live, even though I've literally felt like I've been in a rut for the past couple of weeks and I'm just dragging myself through life. But it's doing what needs to be done even when the motivation went out the window a long time. It helps you protect your consistency, and consistency builds credibility both with others and with yourself. It's great to have credibility with other people, but it's even more necessary and important to have credibility with yourself, because you are with you at all times. And when you prove to yourself that you're capable of doing something, you'll more likely do greater things, even when nobody's watching. And next up, we have mental discipline. This one is about focus. Mental discipline means staying committed to your goals, even when distractions look more exciting. So now I say, when I just started setting up bedtime for myself, it was more so because I wanted to cut off myself from work because I would just stay up and not even realize it's 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm doing stuff. And I was not getting a lot of sleep and it was affecting me. So I said, let me have a cut off time so I could go to my bed. No, child. I feel like if I don't sleep, I cannot even function. Like I just cannot even function. I don't know if it's getting old. I mean, let's not get into that, but it's saying no to things even when you want to say yes. Like I want to go out and out with my friends. I want to go and do a lot of things outside of what I need to do. But by the time I finish doing all the stuff, it's time for bed. And I'm just like, I so it's understanding that you cannot elevate if you're always entertaining what drains you. And the crazy thing about this is, and I'm not, let me not even say crazy. Let's say the scary part about this is sometimes it's not even things that drain you. Sometimes it's even the things that you love and the things that you want to be a part of. But because you understand that you have to be disciplined, you have to be focused in order to really get to the thing, in order to really create the freedom that you really crave. You even have to say no to things that you love. And that is the hard part. That's why it's called discipline. It's not supposed to be easy. All right. So now we have the practical discipline. These are the systems, the daily non negotiable, the structure, right? The routines, the routines. We don't like to feel like we're doing the same things every day, like it's all boring. But boring beats, I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to say boring beats inconsistency every day. So you will rather be consistently boring than just not doing the things that needs to be done to get you to where you want to go. Right? Routine keeps you consistent because if you know that this is the thing, these are the things that you do every single day, your mind starts to crave it, your body starts to crave it. So even if you don't feel like doing it, you're gonna show up just because. Right? I've never really been a person that hated structure, but I've been a person who would have sometimes just not liked the constraint, as I explained in my childhood and just wanting to grow up. Until I realized it's the only way to make sure your purpose as a plan. You have to have a routine, you have to have a structure, no matter how hard it feels. Right? This is the thing though, guys. I hope you haven't clicked off the video because I should have said this earlier, but this is a thing that once I realized is just like a light bulb went off in my head. Like the more disciplined you become, the more free you feel. You no longer live reacting to life, you live by design. And if you're one of the person who thinks that discipline takes away your freedom, I want to suggest to you that it actually gives you your freedom. It gives you freedom from regret, freedom from inconsistency, freedom from being controlled by your feelings. So in short, freedom from yourself. I had to learn that the freedom I wanted wasn't going to show up and find me. It's not. Right? When they say nobody's coming, like they actually mean nobody is coming. I had to become the kind of person who could handle it. And that version of me, she doesn't wait to feel ready. She moves even when it's uncomfortable. And I am suggesting to you that, guys, at some point, even when we feel like we want to just, do whatever we want, is that really going to help you create the life that you really want? So if you've been feeling stuck and in a rut like I've been feeling, maybe it's not because you're unmotivated. Maybe it's because you've been trying to feel free without being disciplined. The next level of your life won't demand more excitement. It will demand more execution. And discipline is how you earn the freedom you say you want. So I want you guys to put in the chat right now and tell me which area of your life needs more discipline. Is it your emotional, mental, or your practical discipline self? Drop it in the chats or the comments. And if this really is home for you, share it with someone who's chasing the freedom but forgetting the foundation. And on that note, I will see you in the next one. Have a good week and good night.